Hey, everybody. We're coming to you from Earshot Audio in Chicago. I'm a little nervous, to be honest with you, because this is my first time doing a solo podcast to a camera. But I hope you stay with me. I have some really interesting topics to talk about today. First of all, can we talk about the government had a speech earlier. Donald Trump came on, and he says, I hope the coronavirus is gone by April. Well, isn't that great? You can't just you can't just ask a virus to be gone by April or by Easter. You just can't do it. They don't just listen to you. You can't just say, "Hey, Mr. Virus, can you go away by Easter? Because everybody really wants to celebrate Easter together." No, you can't do that. So I thought it was really interesting that he kind of mentioned that. And I don't think he understands sometimes that when you say something as a leader and you focus in, sometimes people just hear one word here and there. They'll hear Easter and they'll focus on it. So now everyone's going to think by Easter they're ready to go outside and play. When no, it could take a lot longer than that. But I have to say that a lot of people are being very critical of Donald Trump right now, even some of my Republican friends on Facebook. But everybody seems to love Dr. Fauci. He's getting a lot of respect from a lot of people. I think he lays things out very clearly. I think he's very professional, and people know that he has years and years of experience with this subject. So I think Fauci's doing a really good job. I think Cuomo is doing an excellent job. And Cuomo is dealing with, the governor is dealing with some really harsh things over there in New York. That was one of the big breakout points. And you can kind of predict that because it's so congested and there's so many people and everyone's walking around. Here in Chicago, we don't even walk around as much as they do in New York. So, of course, they're going to get more cases. My thoughts on this, I have a lot of friends, and they tend to think that some of them, not all of them, some of them think it's like a conspiracy. They think the Chinese made this so that the stock market would drop, and then the Chinese could buy the stocks. But I don't know if that's true. To me, that seems really far-fetched. I don't think... First of all, I've read a lot of articles, and I trust scientists. I'm not one of those people that doesn't trust some people don't trust anybody. Anything they say, oh, well, there's motive behind it. There's motive. Sometimes, I trust scientists. I think they're very smart, and science is based on consensus. And it's evidence-based. So you cannot have something be true unless it's been verified and, duplicated and done by many different people and many different scientists. So when people start saying, this was engineered, this is a bioweapon, I don't tend to believe that nonsense. I'm not a conspiracy theorist personally. I don't subscribe to that way of thinking. Partly because nobody can keep a secret. If you've told two of your friends a secret, that everyone's going to know soon enough. Even if you say to them, be sure you don't tell anybody this. And usually, especially if you say that, it's going to get around. The truth always comes out. You can't even get into, so these big conspiracy theories like 9/11, there's conspiracy theories, all sorts of things. Every time there's a major event, there's always that one guy, who really isn't a specialist in anything, and they say, oh, you know what? I think I know what happened. Oh, you think you know what happened, smart guy? You know what happened. When all the specialists and all the different people from all these different, viewpoints see it a different way, but you know what happened. Anyway, I don't like that stuff, and I usually never believe it. Now, can people do things and have a secret plan? Yeah, they can. And was there Watergate and some, conspiracies and certain things done? Yes, there were. And do they come out? Yes, they usually do come out. You will never get 100 people who have witnessed something or done something together, in my opinion, to take it to their grave. Okay? It usually does not happen. So, what I was saying is a lot of scientists are saying that this is not a bioweapon, that this is perfectly a natural virus. They study viruses, they're looking at them all the time. So I think this, now I don't totally understand it. I still, people have told me, well, a virus is not a living thing. And that's a hard concept for me to grasp, to be honest with you. It needs a host. So what does that mean? It's not alive, but it needs a host. But then it spreads itself. I mean, the thing about this disease is it's so infectious. I don't think it's super, super dangerous as Ebola or some other things that have come out, or that could come out in the future, or as deadly as the Spanish flu was in the early 1900s. That, you had that, and soldiers, young kids, by the way, in that case, not older people like now, younger kids were dying, within 24 hours. So we have to be thankful, first of all, that we have a home that we can stay in and be safe and watch Netflix. And, and also that it's not as deadly as it could be or has been in the past. Watch specials about Ebola in Africa and you will freak out. It is a totally, totally different thing. Speaking of Netflix, there's a great new show on, and it's called Tiger King. And I really have to thank Netflix for putting this out right now because we need content. If there's ever a time that we need new shows, it's right now and then the next couple weeks, because this is going to be at least, right now it's the what is it today? 24th of March, 2020. And we're going to be inside for another month probably. We have to let this thing run its course. And in doing that, we can't overwhelm the hospitals. But anyway, the show Tiger King, it's so funny and so strange. I had no idea. It's like going into another world. I had no idea that this world even existed. It is with these larger than life characters. And I haven't even finished watching it, but I'm really enjoying it already. It has, these guys that are living, it's about large cats, like tigers and lions. And these guys in this country have like amateur zoos where they have 200 big tigers, like fully grown, and then they breed the tigers to make baby tigers, so they can charge people to come and pet them, and that's how they make the money to keep the whole thing going and to feed the bigger tiger. I mean, it's amazing. So kudos to them for bringing out a good series while we're all stuck inside. Also, I wanted to talk about some of the memes that have come out. I'm sure the internet is just, obviously people have more time than ever to work on their computers and on their phones and to do whatever they're doing. And the meme generation has been out of control. Some of the funny ones have been like, I don't know if you've seen the Cardi B one, where it's not like a meme. It's kind of like a GIF, I guess you would say, or a GIF. I don't know how they say that. But she's like, coronavirus. And then Trump is giving a speech and he turns around real fast and looks at her. Anyway, I think it's real funny. And there's another one where it's like summer 2020 is going to be lit, and it's people like in all full like Breaking Bad chemical prevention outfits, and they're like diving into a swimming pool, and they're fully in like protective gear. So I love all the memes that are coming out from this. I think that's a good positive thing. But I'm getting texts right now. I'm in a group text and people are, everyone's talking about this in different ways. But what else was I going to say? This is going to be a long March. It feels like this March is lasting like 6 months and it's only 1 month. And, it's going to be some time. Trump also said today that it's not a financial crisis. They keep saying that. It's not a financial crisis. But it is going to be a financial crisis. It's turning into a financial crisis. Because if you're telling people to stay home, then they're not going to have any money. Their money is going to run out off of food and, other things that they need at home. So the, you know, depending on how much savings people have is about the time that they can make it. And a lot of my tenants don't live, I am in the real estate business. I have I have a property and I have rental, I have tenants, and a lot of them, I don't even know what's going to happen now. I don't know if they're going to be able to pay me. I don't know if, you know, so that's why the government needs to come through with this stimulus plan. And I know they are. They're going to do it in the next day or so. And I hope it gets to the people that actually need it because, the whole kind of system falls apart from the bottom. It starts from the bottom and it works its way up. The rich people will be fine. Dax Shepard is a celebrity. He's married to Kristen Bell. I don't know. She's a huge celebrity, and she's talking on her podcast, or he was talking on his podcast about, oh, I'm letting my tenants not pay for a couple months. Well, aren't you a nice fucking guy? That's great. Good for you. But I can't do that. I don't. They could build a housing community for 100 people if they wanted to with all their millions and millions of dollars. She was in Frozen or something. They were, they're superstars. So my point is, if we get the cash to the people that need it, like an Uber driver or some kind of, person who works full time and really can't afford to take 3 weeks, a month off, you know, we got to get the money to them so then they can pay their bills so I can pay my bills. I have a mortgage, even though I own rental property. I have a mortgage I have to pay. I have, I have things I have to pay. Heat. I pay heat for all my tenants. And how are those bills going to get paid? I did save something from Bill Gates. He said today in Forbes that the best case scenario is 6 to 10 weeks of total isolation. So I don't know when that starts exactly, but we could see some positive results hopefully in a few weeks. What I can't believe is India. India is so congested, and they don't have the best sewage system and best kind of like plumbing system as we do. And they just asked 1.3 billion people to stay home tonight. Now that's going to be tough because those people, it's warm there and people are used to being out, walking around, doing their thing. And I think that's going to be really tough right now. So we'll see how that goes. In other news, Louisiana, a preacher in Louisiana. Also, I'm not very religious. As you can see, I'm very scientific. I believe in the universe. I'm kind of agnostic, atheist, I guess you could say. But that's why I have the universe behind me. My friends were making fun of me. They thought it was funny and goofy, but I like it. So I don't give a shit. And it's my show. When you have a show, you can design it however you want. But it's my show. So what was I going to say? Oh, this preacher. I can't believe this. People are going in all different ways because of this. Some people are really, obviously everyone's praying for a vaccine, which is from the scientific community, of course. And thank God for them. And that's where I lean. I lean with the scientists and with reason and reality. And some people are, of course, going to the kind of approach, the religious, spiritual approach. This is, this was done by God. God brought this virus to us because we're sinful or some bullshit, story like this. I don't believe in that stuff. I don't believe in any of that stuff. But one preacher in Louisiana just had 1,000 people at his congregation on Sunday, so a few days ago, during the height, during a really bad time. I wouldn't say the height. I would say the peak is going to be this week or two, next week or two. But, he had 1,000 people together, and then a news person asked him, hey, what are you going to tell someone who actually gets sick from the virus? He goes, well, I'm just going to lay my hands on them and tell them, I'm going to have the Lord, through my hands, get rid of that disease. And I'm like, oh my God, good luck with that. It's just so sad that, even after all the proof that we've had with medicine and how far we've come, that people still end up going with this kind of, voodoo mentality, but some people hold on to that, and I bet that preacher loves thinking that he's in charge of all these people, and he gets to advise all these people, and they look up to him as, the servant of God and all this crap. Anyway, we'll see what's going to happen, but I appreciate you guys listening to my first solo podcast today. I don't want to be doing many of these. I definitely want to be doing more podcasts where I'm interviewing somebody and talking to somebody and laughing and, we're debating and getting contentious and having fun and joking around and talking shit because that's what I like. But this is fun for now. Thank you guys for listening. And if you can, subscribe to my, subscribe to my YouTube channel and keep in touch, and I'll be making more videos. Thanks a lot.